Welcome to episode 30 of Discovering Nagasaki from Local. My name is Chad. In my ongoing weekly vlogs, you can experience everyday life in this scenic and fascinating part of Japan. So far, Denise Rollheiser, Daniel Hausen, and Richard Lempart were able to correctly answer both of last week's vlog questions. Thank you for uploading your answers. The first question from last week was, what is the name of the Moomin Valley character on the serving dish that I used for kimpira? The answer is Little Mai. The second question from last week was, how many bridges did I cross during my bicycle tour video? The answer is 3 bridges. And now for this week's crash course in kanji root particles. A group Q kanji root particles include oneself, platform, ability, wide, cloud, arrive, go away, develop, raise, fill, devil, kernel, fiber, strengthen, profound, thread, and lineage. I will cover Group R kanji root particles next week. Anyone who has an interest in Japanese food, fine arts, or martial arts will benefit from a basic knowledge of kanji. Please support this vlog channel by clicking on the subscribe button below, ringing the adjacent bell for update notifications, and clicking the thumbs up button. In today's vlog, I will show you how I bake organic basil and garlic country bread in my bakery. I will also show you Japan's first national park, Onsen Jikoku Park. Let's get started. In order to bake organic basil and garlic country bread, I'll use 40 grams of olive oil, 5 grams of chopped garlic, 30 grams of chopped basil, 230 grams of water, 75 grams of organic yeast, 640 grams of flour, 140 grams of whole wheat flour, 50 grams of sugar, and 13 grams of salt. After 8 minutes in the mixer, I will let the dough rise at room temperature until it fills this container. Now that the dough is fully risen, I will remove it from this container and take off the saran wrap on top. This is what the dough looks like prior to forming. Now I will weigh out 6 portions of this dough using an electronic scale and a dough cutter. Each portion will weigh 210 grams. That should be close enough. Now that I've weighed out 6 portions of dough, I need to form each one into a short baguette-style loaf. First, I will create a smooth surface on top with my fingers. Then I will pinch off the edges on the opposite side. Next, I will roll the dough with the pinched off section on top until I get a long oval shape. This type of bread is called pain de campagne, which is the Japanese pronunciation of the French bread, pain de campagne, or country bread. In this case, basil and garlic country bread. Now I need to fold over the 2 lengthwise edges of the oval. Pinch the dough off. And then roll the dough until it has a smooth surface, and it is a bit longer than the rolling pin. This bread shrinks in length before it goes in the oven. Lastly, I need to make 3 diagonal slices in the dough with a bakery razor. Just like this. 1, 2, 3. Now I have 6 bread loaves that are ready to put in the proofer. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, we let our bread rise twice, once before forming and once after forming. I'll spray the dough with water and then let the dough sit in the proofer for about 2 hours. It's time to prepare the dough before I transfer the tray to the oven. As you can see, after 2 hours in the proofer, the loaves have increased in size quite a bit. Before I put this tray in the oven, I need to spray the loaves with some more water. And then, using my fingers, I will add some more whole wheat flour on top of each loaf, just like this. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just one more spray of water, and then the tray goes in the oven for 18 minutes at about 215 degrees Celsius. Minutes later, and the bread is golden brown and ready to take out of the oven. There's no space on our bakery counters today, so I'll have to set this hot bread tray on the edge of our sink over here. There you go. Hot and delicious organic country bread with basil and garlic. I'm now in the central part of the town of Unzen, only a short distance away from the entrance to Jigoku, or Hell Park. My wife Yasuko is standing at the bus stop wearing a pink jacket. Behind her and further down this road you can see large plumes of steam rising from Jigoku Park. Jigoku Park was designated as Japan's first national park in 1934, 87 years ago. 23 years later, in 1956, the name of this park was changed to the Unzen Amakusa National Park. Amakusa is a small island in Kumamoto Prefecture, not far from Shimabara. This park encompasses an area of more than 28,000 hectares, and this location is about 700 meters above sea level. This is one of the 30 geothermal sites in Unzen Amakusa National Park. Water vapor containing hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide is discharged from the ground, and there is a strong smell of sulfur in the air. However, this cat doesn't seem to mind. The rocks near the fumaroles are brittle and they're caked in sulfur and sinter. This national park is closely connected to the early history of Christianity in Japan. Along this path is a monument to the Christian martyrs from Shimabara and the Kakure Christian, hidden Christians, who inhabited this area. In 1792, the collapse of one of Mount Unzen's several lava domes triggered a mega tsunami that killed more than 14,500 people in Shimabara. To this day, it remains Japan's worst volcanic-related disaster. A large volcanic eruption in 1991, 30 years ago, generated a pyroclastic flow that killed 43 people on Mount Unzen. As a result of the ongoing pandemic, there are very few people in this location right now. Water from this geothermal site is obviously very hot year-round, and it is used by several nearby onsens. I'll give you a closer look at the geothermal pools up ahead. There are several gazebos along this path where people can sit down and view the pools while they drink tea and eat eggs boiled in this water. Usually there are vendors selling these onsen eggs, but not today. There are several signs in this location which warn people not to climb over the fence along this path. That would be a big mistake. There's no vegetation on the geothermal rocks, but Kyushu azaleas bloom around this site in April and May. Here's another view of this geothermal site and the scenic mountains and forest that surround it. It's an interesting and serene place for locals and tourists to visit and enjoy. The town of Onsen is also a great place to shop, dine, and relax in an onsen. This is the main road in Onsen, which borders the park I just showed you. Here you can see these pedestrians walking past the steam coming from a nearby geothermal pool. In my final video clip, I'll show you a large geothermal vent which continuously spews steam into the atmosphere. It's quite loud and hard to miss. And now for this week's challenging questions. First, what color shoes was I wearing in the bakery for this vlog? Second, how many signboards did I show you in Jugoku Park? Be the first to correctly answer both of these questions in the comments section below. I will announce the first 3 people who do so at the beginning of episode 30. You can find a complete list of the contents of my vlog episodes on the Facebook link listed below. Today's B-roll involved baking, so in episode 30, my B-roll will involve farming. See you next week.